you mentioned like failing in isolation, which I totally understand, but having sat with other educators, there's often a strong value on working in group settings. And personally,
Right.
I never enjoyed any group projects I've ever worked on, like ever.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if you have experience with failure in group settings and how that might compare with the failure in isolation.
I would say, and I would not want to set up this idea that the students should always come and fail in isolation. I think part of that, and this is maybe jumping into the psychology of it all or the therapy of it all, is allowing that student to learn to fail, but then also integrating that back in of learning to fail in front of others. So, Jared, I would agree with you. I was one that I did not like being in groups because typically if I was in a group, I was going to do all the work.
Right.
And I think the benefit of structuring project-based learning or any other cooperative learning is making sure that all parties are accountable within the group. And it's structured in a way that the students own the accountability. So I've seen it done through a group contract where they, stipulate workload, they stipulate how to contact each other, what happens if someone, drops the ball, what happens when they do really well in these groups. And so that group contract can be enforced mutually amongst them all. And I think that's a good way to create that environment. I think, a lot of it is going to be helping students and meeting them where they are, because at the end of the day, students are not really going to learn unless they feel safe. They can absorb the knowledge and spit it back at you, but we know that's not learning. For them to actually understand what is going on, that's going to be where they're going to have that safety. And so I think it works in different ways with different students. And that's why going back to creating that rapport, allowing them to really bond and understand where they're coming from and how, different social dynamics within a school can affect that. Different times of the day can affect that.
Yeah.
I don't like being up in the morning and doing things, but in the afternoon, I'm a much happier person. And so I think giving those opportunities for learning and doing those things in safe settings is probably what I would come back to.
Yeah, and the time of day thing, there's a lot of research supporting high school kids in particular should not be going to school as early as they do.
Right. We shouldn't go to work as early as we do either.
Right.
This excerpt is from podcast number 23 of the CSK8 podcast, which is titled Project-Based Learning in Computer Science with Justin Cannady. You can listen to the full episode as well as hundreds more by searching for the CSK8 podcast on your favorite podcast app.